Hello and welcome to Backstage Goss, the podcast where we dive into the entertainment world. Not just the red carpets and glitter, but the panic, the tears, the questionable career choices, and the what was I thinking moments too. We're talking to real people with real dreams, surviving the highs, the lows, and the occasional identity crisis along the way. So, grab your popcorn. This is going to be fun. In this episode, we talked to Beth Carpenter. Now, she's 18 and she's just going into the industry. She's going to go to the Met Film School down in Brighton. She's got a passion for everything film and theatre. She's also autistic. Let's find out what her little journey's all about.
Hello, my name is Beth Carpenter and I am off to Met Film School in Brighton in September.
Ooh, listen to you. Hey, how you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
All right. How old are you now?
I'm 18.
Okay, good. So we can talk. That's not a problem. Now, I remember, because you came to my drama school and everything, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I was in your pantomimes and your film class.
Yeah. So you've done a bit with us.
Film club, yes.
Yeah. How did you like the film club?
I loved film club. I loved film club so much.
Why?
I really loved it. I have always loved filming things. I was the type of person that, when I had homework in year 8, I got told to research a local church, and everyone else wrote a few paragraphs about something they found on Google. I went to the church, went to Reverend Louise and asked, can I film a documentary of your church? And she was like, sure, I guess. And I came in, had a whole guided tour, filmed their choir, made this whole documentary, and my teacher was like, you've made a whole 10-minute documentary on this church. And I was like, yeah. And that's just the thing I like to do. So going to film club kind of gave me a place to do that, more structured, with a bit of guidance as well, and just with people who were like-minded and also wanted to do it, like my friends, people I made connections with that I still talk to today. So
you're actually on a really exciting journey.
Yes.
Because where are you going to go to?
I'm going to Met Film School in Brighton. So I am going down, which is very exciting. Yes, and I love it there. And I'm very lucky that I already have the UCAS grades. I'm in a very unique position that I already have my media studies A-level, and I have an A in that. And so I have a guaranteed merit, hopefully distinction, in health and social care. So it means that I have the UCAS grades to go right now.
You've really worked at it, haven't you?
Yes, I have done, hopefully. And it should pay off, I hope, when I get there.
What's the big picture for you then?
The big picture for me actually is my main objective in doing this is trying to give a voice and put out more representation into the industry. It's improved a lot over the last 20 years or so, but I want to increase that and add to that, and that's what I've kind of talked about in my interviews and in my portfolio and stuff for going to Met. That is my main focus. That is what I want to do. And obviously Brighton is quite diverse. It has a lot of representation within it, and I want to kind of encompass that and use that and put it out into the industry. So that's my bigger picture. I want to create things, I want to act in things. I just want to be part of the creative industries and make stuff that make people happy and feel seen. That's my main.
You want to do it all, don't you?
I do want to do it all. Never dream too big, I think. So
no, good for you.
Want to try it out.
It's interesting that you're actually thinking that way, but let's just talk about this representation. Why is it so important to you?
It's important to me because I feel like a lot of media that I consumed when I was younger kind of helped me realise who I was and kind of made me blossom into myself a bit more and kind of accept myself a bit more. And that's what I like about shows that do that for me, is that I'm like, wow, I'm really inspired by this. I want to create something along those lines and add that back into the industry more with more input and get more people involved. I am very focused on the representation of women, the representation of neurodivergent, the representation of mental health and mental illness, of just dynamics in general, of the LGBTQ plus. I just want to give a space that everyone can feel kind of heard and included, and give that kind of representation back to the industry more.
That's huge. That's a huge platform.
Yes.
Let's just look at those one by
one. Yes.
Well, okay, women. Why women?
Why women? We still live in a patriarchal society. I study sociology, and it's something I'm quite passionate about. But I think there's a lot of inequality in society still, not just in this country, but across the world. There's a lot of oppression for women still. A lot of rights are starting to reverse. I mean, you just have to look at America and look at like the abortion laws and stuff. I have such a strong emphasis of trying to put women forward into the community. Because when you think of like a camera person, you think of a cameraman. Like you go, oh yeah, who's the cameraman? It might not always be a cameraman. Why can't we have a camera person or a camera woman? You know, I just think that we need more of that in the industry, and that's what I want to bring that in. And I'm lucky that I've met quite a few other women who want to be in the industry too. A few of my friends want to break into the industry who are also women, and I think that's great, and I think there should be more push on that.
Starting to rattle a cage here, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
What about the LGBTQ people?
Oh,
why that?
I have a big focus on the LGBTQ+. I have a lot of friends who are LGBTQ+. Myself, I am a lesbian. I'm not afraid to say that. And it took me a very long time to kind of come to terms with that and be like, oh yeah, okay. It took me a while. Like I always knew there was something, but like to actually like say that and be like, yeah, here I am. That took a while, and not everyone knows that. I don't even think my dad knows that, who's upstairs right now. But like, I'm not afraid to say. All my friends know. It's quite a known thing, and it's something I want to stand up for because I think it's important. I think equality is really, really important. I think it took way too long for gay marriage to be accepted and legalized, and it's still not in so many places. Like if you just look, there's so many places you can't, if you're in a relationship, like a same-sex relationship, there's so many countries that you can't go to because you'd risk getting like prosecuted just for going to a country, and I think that's ridiculous. Oh, absolutely not. No, and I just think that's ridiculous. I just, so many people have to hide it, and so many people have like live in shame, or they get sent to like conversion therapy, and I just think that's so silly. And I just think we've gotten to a point where I think we should just let people be who they want to be. And that's why I have such an emphasis on that, because I think there needs to be more representation in the media. And I think especially for sapphic relationships, because a lot of them are very, I'll put it nice, it's done in a kind of a weird way. A lot of men tend to write sapphic relationship stories, and I really like seeing the movement of more inclusivity of sapphic relationships in the media that aren't like that and are more real and more more true, more of a true representation. That's kind of why I
can run with that. Yeah,
I want to put more across that to the.
It's interesting. Like, why doesn't your dad know yet?
I don't know. It's just
kept it from him?
It's not something I thought I'd have to kind of tell anyone. I feel like I'd just come home one day and be like, oh yeah, this is my girlfriend. And they'd just kind of be like, okay. That's just kind of what I hope. It's not something.
That's the way it went for me with my daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. You know, it is. Do you know what? When it comes to acceptance, your child, who they love is down to them. You know, who they feel for, and emotions for. No, just run with it. It's good. Good on you. Well done.
Thank you.
Why not? Why not?
Thank you.
What other? Neurodivergent. Why neurodivergent?
I myself am autistic, so I think that's a big part of my life. It took me a while to kind of be able to tell people that. Like, I think my old friend group who knew me for years, it took them a while for them to like be told by me. They all kind of assumed, or people would ask me and I'd go, yeah, and they kind of work out for themselves. It took me a while to start actually telling people.
Yeah. But
because obviously I'm an adult now and I kind of need to fend for myself, obviously. I think it's important to tell more people, because then more people know and more people understand. And I've been very lucky with the people around me who understand me and just kind of accept me for who I am. I've got very lucky with friendship groups. Very, very lucky with friendship groups.
Really? Yeah.
Who just kind of embraced me like that and helped me out a bit. Like I got invited to a house party once, and I'm not a party person, but it was a friend that I really, really liked, and it was her 18th, and I was like, you know what, I'll go along. And she knew that was a big thing for me, and she had no one else was allowed out of this section of her house, but she had a whole room dedicated just for me if I wanted somewhere to go.
Oh,
for
really?
A bit of quiet. She did.
So she's looking after your well-being.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think there's a lot of really good representation in the media, but a lot of it's focused on men. And I really like what they've done recently with Heartbreak High, with the character of Quinny. I think that is a gorgeous representation in today's media, and I'm watching season 3 right now, which is very exciting. But I think what they've done with that, and Chloe Hayden, who plays Quinny in that, I think they've written it gorgeously, and I think they've really incorporated like her suggestions into it, and just really got like people involved who are neurodivergent to put what they think should be represented well across, and how that should be represented. And I want to be a part of that. I want to kind of give them more platform to that, because it's important to me, and it's important to other people that I know. Like, I know a lot of other people who are autistic or who found out later, and I think that's quite common for women to find out later on. And I would really like to kind of shine more of a light on that, neurodiversity as a whole, but especially autism, how it's presented in women, is something that I feel quite strongly about, just personally. And I think that the more representation we see in the media, the more parents or the more teachers or the more adults in children's lives can see this and be like, oh, wow, this child shows traits, and they can get diagnosed earlier and get help earlier. And I think that's really important to me.
One thing that really annoys me, because as you know, I mean, I used to teach as well,
Yeah.
So I could see the children that needed, you know, a little bit of extra help and everything else. What I don't understand is, if you're a neurodivergent, right? In my mind, teachers should have been able to pick it up, right?
Yeah.
But then devised a learning plan, an individual learning plan that was aimed and made for you, rather than putting you, you know, into a little peg and saying, no, stay there, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. Well, you think differently.
Yeah.
The world's
exactly.
different to you guys, yeah?
Yeah. And it varies. Each person needs a different type of support. A lot of people, everyone's different. That's why it's a spectrum.
Of course we are. We're all different. You're right. Yeah.
Exactly. So some people need different support, and I think a lot of early learning models came from studying it in men, because they used to believe that it was just men who could have autism, and then they kind of realised, no, that's not true.
But do you? Okay, this interesting point you make there. Do you think that's because, again, I'll state it, women, girls, just hide it. They you know what I mean? That they can handle it a 100%. Lot better than fellas.
Yeah. And I think that's why it's taken so long, and I think that's still a huge misunderstanding. And I think a lot of teaching resources have improved, but I think a lot of them still kind of, the signs to look out for are still different. It's still very aimed at a more male representation of it. And obviously everyone is different, but it presents very differently in everyone, and I think that's something that should be talked about more. It's not one size fits all. It's a spectrum for a reason.
Do you know what? Do you know what I believe? I believe we're all on that spectrum. I do. Somewhere along there, we all fit on it. You know. And I did a project with a young lady. I'm going to name her because she's fantastic. Lucy Moon. She's a local girl. She did panto for me when she was 18. She played Alice in Dick Whittington. 5 years later, she rang me up and said, I'd like to make a film. I said, oh, okay, fine, yeah. What we're doing it on? She said, well, I don't know. Not quite sure. So I said, well, how about we look at something you've been through or might be going through? You know, what is it we're looking at? And then she said, oh, you know, because I'm neurodivergent, I'd like to tackle that.
Yeah.
Great, let's do it. And what we did was, we had a discussion, and I said to her, I'll mentor you, but you're going to be the director. And that was a bit overwhelming to start.
Yeah.
Because she was like, oh my God, I've never done it, I can't. And then she started to panic. We came away from that to her doing it and absolutely smashing it. It was such a... The project was amazing. We had 24 neurodivergent actors, actresses, some crew, and it was the best experience I'd ever had on set.
Wow.
Honestly,
That's wonderful.
but I'll tell you, but I was like, how is it all of these people in this room can be so kind and caring and worrying about each other's welfare? Where's that all come from? But it was all genuine.
Yeah.
You know? It taught me a big lesson. But I wasn't going to let her down in any way, because I just said to her, I believe in you and I know that you can do this. So she was like, really? I went, yeah, let's do it. Consequently, you know, we're looking at another project.
Yeah.
That we will be including her in. And hopefully yourself.
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah, no.
I love that.
I mean, there's going to be something there for you. I'll guarantee you that. Especially when you're going off to the Met.
Yes.
Film school and that. And you've kept up your drama.
Yes, of course.
Which is good. Yeah. With how do you perceive the industry?
How do I perceive the industry? In what way?
Well, as you say, you're a woman going in. Yeah.
Yes.
How could you make your mark? And I mean really make your mark.
Really make my mark.
Yeah. What do you really want to do?
I want to push more focus, more support, more understanding, not just in front of the camera. I think behind the camera, I think we need to include more people. If we're doing a project, say, about women or about the LGBTQ+, or about neurodiversity, for example, I think the people involved in that should be part of those groups. I think that's something that we see in the industry, but I don't think it's something that's like all. I think it's less common to see an all cast of what someone's creating. So I think a whole like neurodivergent cast for creating something about neurodiversity would be fantastic. I think that would be wonderful, and I think that would make a really well-rounded representation, because different people can suggest different things and add things as they go along, and ideas might come that you might have not got before, because everyone's experience is different. Right. I think that altogether that would be amazing. But the industry as a whole, I kind of have a little bit of an optimistic view on it as well. I hope that there is space for me, and if there's not, I will make it. It's what I'm gonna say. I want to. If there's not space for me and my ideas in the industry, I want to make that space somehow. Good. And make that space for other people. Good. That's just so positive. You know, that's great to hear. I want you to check out the film Unmasked, on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, you'll find it under Elephant in the Room Productions and Lucy Moon director. Okay. Right? Check it out, because that was all neurodivergent. That's amazing. You know? Yeah. It was absolutely cracking. There's a young actor called Leo Long. Mm-hmm. Now Leo was cast as a lead autistic boy in I Used to Be Famous. Again. Yeah. Yeah, it's a Netflix. It's on YouTube. And he got the part because, believe it or not, well, I couldn't get my head around it, to be honest. They needed a drummer. He taught himself to drum. Yeah. You know? Then you find out he plays other instruments. Then you find out he's a songwriter. He's this, he's that. And I'm like, wow. You know, I just get inspired by, being around the neurodivergent, because they do have a different outlook, you know, and the majority of the time it's for the better. They see things, you know, that I was closed to, and you're like, no, that's a better way of doing it. Why didn't I think of that? Well, of course I'm not neurodivergent. I didn't see it. I've got a different set of rules and learning capabilities and everything else, you know. So what do you reckon then? Do you reckon you're gonna write your own material? Yes. Oh, I'm very interested in screenwriting. I've always I've created stories throughout my life. I've kind of I used to, when I was younger, instead of playing conventionally outside of all the children at break, I used to play by myself. That was my main thing. But I'd always get really inspired, like, after going to like a pantomime or a show. I was very into that. Or watching, like, especially when I was in like year one, like the CBeebies panto every year on the TV. I'd be like, yes, I'm making that now. And I'd round up anyone who agreed, regretfully in the end, who would agree to put on a pantomime at break, and I would boss them all around and be like, you're this, you're that, you're doing that, and I'd get them all, I'd tell them their lines. I'd have them remembered, because I had a very weird memory as a child. I could memorise books from them being read to me before I could read, you know.
Good girl.
Yeah, there's one on YouTube actually.
Yeah.
Tabby McTat. I knew that off by heart, and I did when I was about 3 or 4.
Wow.
Before I could read, and people used to be like, "Oh, she can read so well," before like doing like primary school, and my parents were like, "No, she just memorised it from us reading it to her," and they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense." But I used to just tell everyone their lines and make them do it. And I'd get anyone who's around, come watch this a second. And so I've always tried to make my own material, because it was never fully exactly. I'd kind of change a little bit to fit whatever cast I had.
Right.
How many people I had. I'd cut in characters, I'd cut them out. Someone's like, no, but I wanted to be the dog. Okay, and we'll have 2 dogs. And I would always compromise, of course.
Yeah.
And I was always writing things. I loved writing stories. I still love writing stories. It's something I've never stopped doing. And so to turn something into something visual like that would be amazing.
Have you got anything that you've written in the past that you wanna work on?
That I want to work on still. Yeah. There's a few things. There was a mini short film I made called I think it was called like Young Crime. Very broad, I know, but I just went to my friend's house, and she had the guy she was dating over at the time when I was about 13, 14, and I was like, oh yeah, whilst we're all here, let's make a short film. And they were like, cool. And I think the dynamic of it was pretty cool. I think the immediate idea I had on the spot was pretty cool. So I'd like to revisit something like that, something that is a bit serious, something that's a bit, it kind of shows, it kind of was a toxic relationship. The guy was hiding something from the girl. She was like, what? He's having these phone calls, and he's actually like working for someone. He's like going out and killing people, and he like carries a knife around with him and stuff. And I just came up with that on the spot, and that's something that I quite like to look at. It's something like deeper, and I also really like looking at documentary. I would love to make some documentaries.
On what?
On anything, really. I really like documentaries or docuseries. I like both. I like doing both. I like docuseries when they're done right and they have the right research. The Amanda Knox documentary recently was really good. I really enjoyed that. Not just because Rebecca Wysocki was in it, but that was a very big bonus. But I love documentaries when they're done with the right intentions. I think I'd love to do some documentaries in schools to do with neurodiversity. I'd like to do some LGBT.
What would you tackle though? Let's just look at that. Yeah, what would you tackle?
If I had to make a documentary now, and everything, all logistics aside, and I was going into a school to do a documentary, I would probably pick to do. I would probably interview neurodivergent girls specifically. That's what I'd go through. I'd ask them about their experience. I would try and work out the level of support that they get compared to neurodivergent boys. I think that's something that very, very highly interests me. I saw a lot of people who were my friends who kind of got pushed under the rug, or were told, oh, they could have something like this, and the school didn't push it enough, and they didn't get the support they needed. But then you saw boys who just kind of showed traits a bit more, and they got a lot more support. And I think I would go into a documentary with girls and ask them about the support they get, and how that compares to others, and how they feel about it, and how they feel in school, and try and work out the statistics of how many girls feel like they are under-supported compared to boys. And I'd probably interview a few of the boys for contrast, to kind of put into place how that's happened. I'd take into account when they were diagnosed, if they even are diagnosed, compared to the boys. And I would kind of work out why that happened and try and ask them why they think that happens. And I think that would be quite interesting to do one day.
Interesting subject though, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I mean, yeah, when I was teaching, like you say, identifying people. I mean, I had some students that, you know, that just fell through the cracks.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, how does that happen? You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, from a documentary point of view, I mean, that would be quite cool. What about comedy? What turns you on with comedy?
Oh, I love comedy. I'm actually still I've finished watching it, but the last episode hasn't come out yet. It's Last One Laughing. I love that show. Wonderful. It's on Amazon Prime. Everyone should watch it. It's very good. But also the CBS version of Ghosts is like my favourite thing in the entire planet ever. I love that comedy because it's not just a comedy. It's every person's life, no matter your background, no matter where you live. It's everyone's lives. Everyone can see themselves in a bit of the ghosts. I've started watching it with my friends who I've met from Met Film School Brighton.
Right.
And we watch it on FaceTime, and I've watched it a million times. A million's a bit dramatic, but I have watched it a lot of times. I can basically recite most episodes, but they haven't. It's their first times, and we all see the ghosts in each other, and it's so cool. And I've watched it with my family. I've watched it obviously with my friends, and there's such a massive community around this comedy as well that I'm very lucky to be a little part of online. And I just think it's wonderful. It's great. I love Ghosts. That is what really inspires me with comedies, is how they've done Ghosts. It stemmed from the BBC version, which is also fantastic. And there's French, there's the I think there's a Greek version now, and there's the Australian version, which is also wonderful. I'm actually very happy with what they're doing with the Australian version as well. I think all the versions of it are just wonderful, but they all have the same premise, that everyone is a bit of each of the characters, and it's a comedy, but they also tackle things so seriously as well, and they do it in such a beautiful way, in a way that's very carefully thought out and done. And I think that's wonderful, and I want to be part of something like that, doing a comedy that also tackles things that are serious issues in people's lives. I think is amazing. Like the CBS version of Ghost has so many things in it that you just go wow, and it just kind of blows you away a little bit. It's very moving, and I think it's wonderful what they've done with it. I cannot say anything else about Ghost
cool.
that isn't incredibly positive.
Let me ask you about uni. When you go, what are you expecting?
What am I expecting? From the course, or from going to uni and the experience?
Well, I mean, a bit of both, really. I mean, you know, are you hoping to gain a new set of skills? Are you hoping that they're going to give you, you know, all the information you require in order to get a job?
Well, I personally love Met Film because they kind of set you up for everything. They give you experience on documentary, on music video, which is something I personally also really love doing, is music video. I see they do a lot of obviously filmmaking because that's what the course is, but they also do a lot of focus on post-production, and you can specialise in year 2 and 3 into specific modules that you want to do. And I think that's wonderful. You kind of get a grasp in the first year.
What would you want to do?
What would I want to do?
What do you want to major in?
Right now, if I could pick, it would probably be screenwriting and directing. And I think that's quite broad. It's not super specific, but that's right now what I'm interested in. But I'm hoping that when I go there, my mind is changed. I hope I find a big love for post-production or something like that. I think that would be really cool to explore more of things that I haven't personally done as much. Right. And I hope to find kind of a love for everything. I hope it's a difficult decision for me to pick what I want to focus the most on in years 2 and 3.
I think that's what you're going to find.
Yeah.
You know, as you go, you progress from year 1 to year 2, things start to get narrower and narrower until you hone it, you know, to the skill set that you want. But then again, I mean, you know, if you get out into the big wide world and you're disillusioned with it all, or you can't get the breaks because so many other people are out there trying to get the same job.
Yes.
What are you going to do?
What am I going to do? Well, hopefully I will have a big understanding of the industry, of all the different roles within the industry. And I think if I went out there and let's say that I really wanted to focus on screenwriting and there wasn't that opportunity for me, then I'd try and make it. I'd freelance, I'd do my own thing. I would make things until I can prove to people that, yeah, I should be here in this industry and I want to be in this room. I want to write this. I want to create this. That's what I would do.
I'm so glad that I'm talking to you today. No, do you know what? Because if there were more people like you, yeah, to become an entrepreneur wouldn't be an issue. Because, I mean, what I'm hearing is passion that's coming through. You know, I don't care what they think. I don't care. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to have.
Thank you.
You're a lovely disposition. So, I mean, you know, you get that. What's the ultimate aim?
The ultimate aim, I think, if we think widely, for me, I said this recently to one of my friends, but I pick doing this as my entire life because it's what makes me happy. So I think the end goal for me is to be happy with what I'm doing, to be happy in myself, in my life. And this is what makes me happy. And, you know, kind of putting out things into the media, into the industry that are more positive, are more hopeful for people is something that I really enjoy having the opportunity to do.
Sometimes what you find is in this game, there's not a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I mean, just try, as you say, I mean, you're fighting for the jobs all the time. If you can create your own production company, why not?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, It doesn't have to stop at films, I mean, because you've got theatre.
Yes.
And that's another option that you've got, isn't it?
There is another option that I've got. I'm currently doing a year-long online course with, it's a New York University course, and they partnered with Yellow Brick to do this. And I was lucky enough to get granted a scholarship to do this because it's quite an expensive course to do once they've accepted you and everything. And so I was very lucky to get a scholarship for this.
Wow.
And that's what I've been working through. I have the year to complete this.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. It's wonderful so far. They get you so involved. I had to make a timeline on realism recently. That was very interesting and entertaining. I had this PowerPoint that I had to create for that, and I just think it's great. It kind of takes you through everything you need to know, from a performance side of view to a production side of view to everything, just the industry as a whole. And they have people talking to you who are just so passionate about it.
Right.
And I think the way they've done it and how they include things from script writing to casting to the history of theatre to the very, very broad history of theatre across the globe. I think the way they've kind of channeled that into everything, put meaning behind what you're doing, I think that's very important, and I do think that's going to help me in the future. And I love theatre. You know that I love theatre.
I know you love theatre.
I love theatre a lot.
Yeah.
And that is never not an option for me. That is always a huge passion of mine. That is still something I would very much like to go into. Anything creative, anything to do with performing or making something is what I want to do. And one way or another, I want to be a part of that and do that with my life.
Even if you cannot be a part of it, you've got to create it.
Oh, yes.
Isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You've got to create it.
Yes.
You're that fired up with it. I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, what have we unleashed? A monster. She's going to be out there. Yeah, it's amazing. Well done.
Thank you.
I think the only... one of the issues is it's not a nice world out there.
No.
You know,
no, I understand that.
In the student world, and you know, your first rung on the ladder, you know, and all this type of stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, what do you worry about?
So I know that I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. I feel like if I do something wrong, I'm going to be like, oh no. If someone's like, you know, oh no, you shouldn't have done that, I'm going to be like. But I think, I don't know. I think I really want to stand my ground a little bit. I I think the thing that worries me the most is not doing something that people like. I think that's what it would be. I think it's okay to make mistakes.
I think
completely. Doing mistakes is
Without
fine.
a mistake, how are you going to learn?
Exactly. And I don't think it's the rejection that scares me, because rejection is just redirection. And in a bunch of rejection, make it yourself. Do it yourself.
End of.
Yeah. And so I think the thing that worries me most is people not liking what I do. I think I can take criticism, but if no one liked what I did, I'd be like, oh, I think that would worry me the most a little bit.
Let me just say this to you, yeah? You're going into a very, very fickle industry, yeah? Mm-hmm. Now, there are people that are going to love it.
Yeah.
There are going to be people that absolutely hate it.
Oh, yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
As long as you enjoy it.
Yeah.
And you've got that pleasure from it, and you've got it out there, yeah? So be it. You know, it's your passion and everything else. You're putting stuff into the world. They're not. It's easy for somebody to criticise, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, I'd watch out for that. Toughen up your shoulders. You know.
Yeah.
They need to be a lot broader. Yeah. Listen, I wish you all the luck with this.
Thank you.
But I also want to throw this out. We need to talk about a project or two.
Yes.
Yeah?
Oh, yes.
Let's get that underway.
100%.
And we'll do that. But you know what, for now, let's just say thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much too. I've really enjoyed this.
Good. I'm
really,
glad you have.
Enjoyed this.
We're going to keep an eye on your journey.
Yeah.
All right? I'd like you to come back, maybe after the first year.
Yes.
Yeah? Come back and just keep an update on everything that's going. Because I see that in your eyes, there's something magical in there, you know, and you really do want it, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Bethany, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Steve.
Well, this young lady's on a very exciting journey. First step up the ladder to film school. Now, she said she's got plenty to say. We want to hear it. We will be bringing her back. And a bit of good news, she's already been taken on by a production company to assist with a short film. We wish her luck. Next up, Scott Payne. We delve into the world of script writing. That's up next.